waiting on Leota to get set up.
Okay.
Good to go?
Yeah, he will let me know if we have any issues with the sound,
Okay.
but the live feed is established and.
Okay. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Good evening and welcome to the regular town council meeting for June 10th, 2020. Following the call to order and pledge of allegiance, the first item is approval of the agenda. Councilors, I don't have any changes to make tonight, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move to approve this evening's agenda.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and second to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, council.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, just a suggestion about attendance. You need to call roll.
I'll do that. Okay. Councilor Jaramillo,
I'm here.
Councilor Abrams,
Aye.
Councilor Holly,
Present.
and Councilor Abraham.
Here.
All councilors are present and accounted for. Next item then is the consent agenda. That consists of the last two meetings, May 26th special meeting and the council meeting of May 27th.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve tonight's consent agenda. Any comments? If not, I'll call on a roll call vote so we can hear it over the system here. Councilor Jaramillo,
Aye.
Councilor Abraham,
Aye.
Councilor Holly,
Aye.
and Councilor Abrams.
Aye.
Thank you, council. Next is discussion items. And for any members of the public listening in, I'll take your names so we can call you out for public comment. Do we have any?
Yes. Hi, this is Tom McGill, 12 Buck Road. I'd like to donate 2 minutes to Jerry Powers. Thank you. I can't see him.
Anybody else?
This is Jerry Towers.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing nobody else, then Mr. Powers, I guess the floor is yours.
Yes, I just want to note that the special election is on for August 25th 24th, excuse me. I just want to note too that it took a court order to get the town to follow the law and call for this election. It shouldn't be that hard to have the government be responsive to what people want and petition for. It really points out the need for the change that is possible under the commissioner-manager form of government. Under that form, an initiative could have been put on the ballot. If there's an action by the council that the people don't want, they can recall it through a referendum action. So it really tends to give more power to the public. It tends to make government a reflection of the will of the people rather than the will of a few who are currently in office. CORE is going to be holding a public forum on this issue of the commissioner-manager form of government on June 25th. And we will be sending out notices as to, it'll have to obviously be a Zoom or digital format because of the COVID requirements, unless something dramatically changes between now and then. But we will be sending out notices as to how people can participate and would encourage everybody to do so.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who didn't call in the first time that would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll move along. And let's see, that would be matters from the counselors. First up's Counselor Holly.
Okay, I'd like to mention tonight that I attended the informal gathering at the Equestrian Center on Saturday, where Santa Fe County Commissioner Rudy Garcia and the Santa Fe County Facilities Manager PJ Montoya met with a number of folks that want to use the county-owned facility there. There were probably about 50 people that showed up. They had a good crowd. And a number of people volunteered to help in any way they could to get that facility open so that it could be used during the summer months. Commissioner Garcia did request information such as what days and hours that folks would want access to the center and what type of events and activities were held there. And a sign-up sheet did go around, so Commissioner Garcia's got a point person that he'll be making contact with, and he said that he would work with this volunteer group to see what he could do to get that facility open, noting that there are still public health restrictions to abide by, and that he would have to check with the county's legal counsel regarding liability issues in the use of volunteers there. So a dialogue has started, and I think folks are pretty hopeful that, you know, there's going to be some resolution to getting that facility open soon. The next item I have is that First Choice started a food distribution program today at our Edgewood Clinic, and this is in conjunction with the Roadrunner Food Bank. It will be held every other Wednesday. So it started today on the 10th. The next one will be on June 24th at 2:30. And this they call a healthy foods market. The distribution will only be fruits and vegetables, which will vary according to what's available. But generally, there'll be 4 to 8 items with an average of 8 to 10 pounds given to each person. There's no criteria or screening for people to participate, so it is open to the community at large. So please help to get the word out. I think this would be fantastic, and if, you know, they get a good turnout there, they might even go to weekly distribution. The location is at our Edgewood First Choice Clinic at 7 Municipal Way, right next to the fire station. And again, the next distribution will be on the 24th of June at 2:30. Finally, I just want to remind folks that our Edgewood Town Library is open for curbside services, And you can get more information on the town's website or the library's website. They've got all the details there. Basically, you can pick up reserved library materials Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Fridays, 11:30 to 12:30 and 4:30 to 5:30. And the summer reading program packet pickups and prize pickups will be held only on Thursdays from 10:30 until noon, and that will occur through the end of July. So again, for more information, you can call the library at 281-0138 or go to the website. And the other thing I want to mention, they had a whole lineup of summer programs and presentations, and they're still going to be able to do that, although it'll be virtual presentations. So you'll find that schedule also at the library or the town's website. So just wanted to share all that. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Abraham.
Oh, Council, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah, unmute. There you
I
go.
want to first of all give a shout out to Linda Berg and Church Street Market for the upcoming drive-in theater showings that they're going to be putting on. The community is quite excited about that. I understand she was on the radio the other day talking up Edgewood, so that's always a good thing to have some positive, exciting new things happening in our community. The next thing I wanted to remind everybody that there is a special session coming up with the legislature that's going to start June 18th. So I think, that may give us some more insight as to what our budget may look like in the future. So I'm hoping that we get spared too many cuts. And then the last thing I would like to say is that I would like to suggest we maybe put something on a future agenda to discuss the option of reinstating that contract we used to have with the equestrian center that Edgewood maintained it for the county. It is for the use of our community mostly, and I would like for us to pursue getting that reinstated so that our community actually is getting benefit. They paid taxes for this thing, and I think we should be able to maintain it for the benefit of our community. And that's what I have for tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Jaramillo.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for those who called in. And thank you, Leota, for running this on Facebook Live. I really do appreciate it. A couple of comments. I also wanted to thank everyone involved for the drive-in movies, and we wanted to see if there's anything that we can advertise for that. So I'm gonna, if there's no objections to it, I'll probably get with Linda Burke and see if maybe we can get some information for the summer programs or something out there along with the advertising. And if I need to cover that cost, I can. But I just wanted to make sure that if we're putting out information on that maybe the town could kind of piggyback on that and let our let the citizens know what else the town is doing too. So that was just one idea I had. Also on youth programming, last time that I had talked with Carla and Juan, they were going to take a look at how much budget was left on that had been allocated to us for the $50,000. And I know Carla and I had talked about several different things, including a summer program. Of course, with COVID now, things have changed a little bit. Things are starting to open up now, and we're just getting into summer. So I wanted to get a status update on that, those funds, if they're expiring, et cetera, and make sure that we can put that to good use for our youth this summer. I did also want to ask if the issue, I know Juan had said at the last meeting that the issue with the county was the COVID-19, and it wasn't about maintenance. And so I had previous plans and I couldn't go to that meeting Saturday morning, but maybe somebody can let me know if that was really the issue or not. Was it really about COVID or was it really about maintenance?
That's what the
I'm
sign
wondering.
says.
What?
That's what the sign says, COVID-19.
Well, no, I mean, because Counselor Holly was there with those two from the county, and I'm wondering if they are saying that it's closed only because of COVID. Oh, you're on mute.
At this time, yes, that's why it's closed. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So then that's consistent. Are they asking anything from us? Because I also thought that we should have a meeting to discuss, what kind of agreement we can come up with if that's holding things up.
Like I said, the commissioner said he'd be working with this volunteer group. He understands that the agreement that had been in place, it was actually initiated under Mayor Sturley's term in 2009 and expired in 2012. So there hasn't been any kind of agreement, between the town and the county for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I agree that that's something that we should put on the next agenda so that we can have a discussion about it and just between all of the counselors discuss how that relates to the resolution and how we want to be supportive or not in the future for that. So that's what I would like to request on that.
Counselor, if I may, we're still trying to get together with the county and figure out a little bit of that. If we don't have it all figured out or, how we want to do it, I'm not going to guarantee anything will be on the agenda. I don't have a problem with that, but let us finish talking to them and see if we can even get them involved maybe in a meeting.
Can I just add one other item? One of the individuals that was there, did note that the county has other parks and open space facilities that they maintain exclusively. And so the gentleman there said, this is all fine and good. You've got a lot of people here willing to help and volunteer, but, don't take off the table that the county should treat this facility just like they do all the other ones that they have in the county. So there was that as well.
Anything else, Counselor Harmeal?
Yes. So I'm just trying to figure out how you're going to talk with them without knowing what council wants.
Well, but it's to try to figure out what they're going to do. We've been trying to get into a discussion with them for some time. And I'm just saying that depending on when we can get a chance to talk with them and that, then we'll try to bring something back that's a little more complete.
Okay, gotcha.
Or include
okay.
some of them into a meeting. That's what we've been trying to do as much as anything, is get them to do a little more talking.
Okay. So then next on my list was, just trying to make sure that we give the opportunity for public comment at any special meetings that we post. I think there was one that didn't have the opportunity to comment somewhere along the way. So I request that. And then again, requesting a legal update. I know that because of COVID, I think that we voted on something that we could suspend, that, our executive closed sessions have to be in person, right? So I was hoping that at some point here, again, requesting that we could have a legal update and comments on EPCOR. So for this, I did write something to the paper, and Leota, thank you so much for posting that. Just suggesting, again, the idea that I've had since the very beginning of working together with EPCOR on a public-private relationship and addressing the water treatment plant and, you know, funding and things like that together for our community and for the customers of EPCOR, instead of putting money toward, you know, hostile takeover and more legal fees. I would like to see that on the agenda and bring something forward as to how we can partner together for a real win-win for the community. And then lastly, just wanted to request that because we are having some retirements, and you guys probably already have something planned, but just wanted to know if we were going to be doing something for Dora and Chief and Norton and those who will be leaving the town here soon.
We've thought about it, but again, given the stuff, we'll see what, if we can maybe put something together later here in the year. We've all wanted to do something, but given the restrictions of the moment, we've just kind of held off. We told Norton we'd like to get him back to give him his plaque and stuff, and probably ought to do the same for the other members. Chief will certainly want to give him a goodbye somehow or another. If we come up with something, we'll let you know.
All right, thank you guys.
Councilor Abrams.
Oh, I don't have a whole lot tonight. Been working with Jesus to get things sorted out with the RACC, and some issues were brought to my attention with regard to what we're paying for, what we're getting, and what we're not getting, and what we're going to have to pay for. I'd like to say that I'm not exactly happy with the situation. When we finally negotiate something with the RACC and with the county, I'll bring it so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. Basically, it has to do with connectivity and with getting data into our police cars. The RACC has changed its software and is now requiring a change of us, which is going to be at our expense rather than at theirs. And even though we pay our annual tithe to them, which annoying me very greatly still, I hope to have a couple of private conversations with our commissioner, and perhaps I will go up to Santa Fe and visit a little bit with the county manager with regard to this, because some of what they're doing does not logical sense to me as an IT professional, and it bugs me. And I feel that it is costing our community and our county an exorbitant, unnecessary amount of money. And I'd like to fix that. Another little pet peeve, and I would solicit any counselor's assistance or the town office's assistance. There is a strip of trail along 344 from the entrance exit cut at the fire station to Municipal Way that is not complete. There are two giant holes in it, and if I accidentally on purpose fall in one of those holes and break my leg, I will sue the county. Just saying. We need to fix this. There is no trail between our trail on one side of their driveway at the fire station and the other side of the driveway at the fire station between there and Municipal Way. And there's a couple of very large sinkholes that are there. I don't know what are those sinkholes, but they are very, very good, and they will eat your bicycle alive. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Just saying. I would really like to implore that the county fix that and do something about their little section of property there that doesn't have a trail on it, even though there's a kind of beaten path. It's inconvenient, and I think there are some kids that go back and forth on bicycles going to the mid-school. There are some other folks that walk that stretch quite frequently. We need to do something about that. I could go on and on and on about all kinds of other little odds and ends in town right now, but I think we ought to get on with it. So I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor. Next up is matters from the clerk treasurer. Mr. Torres, what do you have?
Mayor, Council, I have nothing to report today.
I'm about in the same spot. I believe I'll pass on matters from the mayor, and let's get on into action items. The item before us tonight, counselors, as you know, Dora Garcia will be leaving us at the end of the month, and we need a replacement. Fortunately, Juan and Amelia have been working and with Dora and getting Amelia trained up on it, and she has provided an application here for accounting assistant, and you have before you her letter there, along with some of her qualifications and stuff, her work experience. So
Fun.
I will entertain a motion on this one, and we can have discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we table this or continue this to the next meeting until after we see what the legislation section does with our budget.
I will second that.
Counselors, we have a,
Discussion?
yeah, I was going to say, we've got a motion. I'll entertain discussion.
Mr. Mayor, we've already entertained a difficult situation with keeping track of our finances at the month end and providing the council with documentation. We already know we need to have somebody in there, and we don't have enough people right now. So if we wait, we risk yet another audit finding. So I say this is not a good idea right now. We have someone who is capable, we have someone who is familiar, and we have someone who is willing. And we need them. So I think waiting would be a fool's errand.
Other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, we're waiting like 2 weeks. We're waiting to see what the legislature does. If she's been already working with Dora and training with Dora, then she's already familiar and can fill in until we can get things settled. But I hate to continue to hire people as long as we have no idea what our budget's going to look like. I think it just makes financial sense to hold off a couple weeks.
Okay, any other discussion? If not,
Yes, Mayor.
go ahead.
I'm trying to put my thoughts together here on this. I think, like I mentioned at one of the last meetings, I am concerned about our budget as well, and wondering if there are positions that we can hold off on hiring until we know what our GRT is going to bring in, and also the, just the cuts that we could have. We don't know what's going to happen with Hold Harmless. And I do know that Amelia, I think, filled in for Dora while she was on medical leave. And so I just think there's a lot of moving parts right now that need to be looked at. I do know that Juan, of course, has his accounting hours. He's the one that usually puts together the reports for council anyway. This is nothing to do with the individual, of course. I think that she's great, and I'm glad that she's, learning and getting promoted when the time comes. I just think that there's so many pieces to the puzzle right now that it probably really is wise to see where we're going to be at in budget before we start hiring, you know, even for the other positions as well. I think I saw something come from Carla about another position, so that one as well, I feel like we need to hold off.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
my opinion is we're not adding another body to staff, so I don't see where there's a concern about the budget with this. And I believe we need somebody in that position who would take responsibility for that position. It doesn't make any sense to have somebody just covering in the meantime. So my opinion is that we need to take action on this hire tonight.
Okay, we've got a
Dora
motion.
leaves June 30. Does Dora leave in 2 weeks from now?
The end of the month, isn't it?
Or
Mayor, council, her last day will be June 29th.
and then this is proposed for what start date for Amelia?
Immediately, if approved.
So her start date could be July 1.
Yes, Mayor, council.
Or would it be, like you said, immediately, just any day here and now?
I mean, she's available. It's essentially if you guys accept it and you promote her, it's the will of the governing body.
Okay, council. Motion's been made to table this to the next meeting. We'll do a roll call vote. Start here. Councilor Abraham,
Aye.
Councilor Hawley,
Nay.
Councilor Jaramillo,
Aye.
Councilor Abrams.
Nay.
A or nay?
Nay.
Okay, so we've got a tied vote.
You're not.
Motion fails for lack of a majority.
Point of order, Mayor. I looked for this specific situation and I couldn't find anywhere where there's such a thing as dies for lack of a majority. Things can die for a lack of a second. But really in this instance, aren't you supposed to be the tiebreaker?
Not if I don't want to. So
Not
back
if
to
you don't
the
want
issue
to?
there at hand, councilors. We do have a need for Amelia to come into the position so she can, carry over when Dora goes. So I will entertain a motion. Then
Mr. Mayor, she's already in our employee. She's already been filling in. There's no reason to hire her for this position right now when we can do it at the next meeting based upon what are we going to do if they take our home harmless? We're not only going to be furloughing her, but other employees. We will be in serious trouble. Counselor Abrams has said that, that if we don't get hold harmless, then we're just up a creek. We will be furloughing employees. So I think for right now, we need to just hold where we're at with what we have.
Mr.
Counselor,
Mayor,
I've called for a motion to approve the hire of Amelia Alderetti.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion to approve Amelia for the position of accounting assistant for the town of Edgewood.
Do we have a
And I'll
second?
second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the hire of Amelia Alderetti as an accounting assistant for the town of Edgewood. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, discussion.
Go ahead.
We've gone around this. We've beat this bush several different times now. This is nothing new, different, exciting. We're actually retiring several employees. We've held our budget. We know that if the hold harmless doesn't show up, we're probably going to have to do something, maybe something really drastic. We know that our revenues are going to go down. We don't know how far. And there's an awful lot of things that we can do in the meantime to watch out for that. One of them is to make sure that somebody is accounting for our monies. And that's what this job is somebody who is accounting for things, helps the treasurer, helps the clerk, makes sure the books are kept, keeps track of the deposits. Everybody in the town offices right now is doing their jobs and doing their jobs well. But if we have fewer people, they're going to be doing more of other people's jobs. We can't have that because that makes things happen badly. I know this from personal experience at the university where more and more and more responsibility gets heaped on fewer and fewer people. We don't want to do that in the town of Edgewood. And if a couple of our counselors here are in favor of doing that to our employees, shame on you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I just want to add one thing. Amelia has taken the initiative to earn her certification as Chief Procurement Officer. And so I do believe she needs to be placed in that position, as I said. So we have someone dedicated and responsible for those finances. And we need to deal with the facts as they are today and not put this off for another 2 weeks.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
So I agree with, of course, having someone that is responsible in that position, and I have no doubt that she will be. I guess it's just the timing that's being brought up here. It's not, again, anything to do with the finances. We still have Dora. So with that, I would like to make a motion to have her start date be July 1.
Is that a friendly amendment? Is that what you're asking
Well,
for,
we
a
can
friendly
do it
amendment
we
to
can
the
do it one
motion?
of two ways. Either Councilor Abrams and Holly accept that friendly amendment, or we can vote on it either way.
Councilor Abrams, you made the motion. Would you accept that friendly amendment to it?
Yeah, I'll accept the friendly amendment. Why not? I don't like it, but I'll accept it.
Okay. For my part, yeah, I would like to see Amelia get started as soon as she can and get a grasp on that. That's an important position we have in there. And as far as the hires of that, Councilors Abraham and Jaramillo, I would tell you when I first got in here, there were several times, as you remember, Councilor Abraham, that they froze capital outlays and that. But the wages we pay the employees here doesn't come out of capital outlay and stuff. I do realize that they're going to do stuff up there that may eventually impact us, but at the time that happened before, we had money here that we paid our employees with, and we need to, keep the work of the town going forward. And I would like to give Amelia as much time as possible in this new position to, make it a smooth transition in there. So that's my thoughts on it.
Mr. Mayor, okay, so Dora's not leaving till the end of the month. And so when she leaves, then are we going to need to hire somebody for Amelia's position to fill that position?
Could happen. As it was noted
Okay.
earlier, there's several positions that are coming open, and yeah, we'll probably be doing some more hiring.
All right.
That we do, just a note on that, I think that we do need to find out our budget numbers and have our budget workshop first before we just start posting positions.
Well, the budget workshop, that's what we passed the interim budget there from last year, because they said, it could too hard to involve the public in a budget workshop.
Okay,
We
so
still have to have our budget meetings, Mayor. We still have to have our community budget meetings.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Abrams?
We're kind of wandering here.
Yep, we are.
I have a question. I have one more question. What is going to be her starting salary? I see what she's asked for, and that is above midpoint for that position. It's already above midpoint,
Mr. Torres,
according
can
to
you
our
speak
pay
that?
scale, our
Yeah.
current pay scale that we have.
Mayor Council, that's the midpoint that I have on in my files on there. I mean, that's actually 7.5% below midpoint for the accounting position, accounting assistant position that I have.
Or what? I think you're looking at a finance specialist. What Dora is. This is not what you're hiring Amelia for.
No. This is for the accounting assistant position, what Dora was prior to becoming the finance specialist.
Not according to my pay plan that I have, the most current one we have.
So, and the job
Which is
description, it has the
20.
salary range and everything, and that's what we advertised it. You know, that's what we have it as. So,
Where did you advertise it?
it was an internal posting.
Counselor Abraham, what is that midpoint that you're talking about? What category is that again?
It is accounting assistant is 1104 code, class code, which is actually the same as an administrative assistant, which is the same pay that she already has. For Dora's position, that is a different position. That's a finance specialist. And that's not what we're hiring her for.
Right.
Right, and then also Dora had, you know, how many years experience? Like 20 some years at least.
So that, I just have a question as to what are we going to hire, what is the salary we're going to hire at?
You know what the salary is?
If you don't mind giving a quick recess, I'll go look at it.
Let's take a little recess and he can go find this thing.
I just finally got an answer back on the sound. And they're saying that the ones on the phone are really hard to hear. Yeah, but there's white noise interfering with the fan. Doesn't seem very loud.
He hasn't followed through the phone, I think.
Well, we'll turn on mine.
I'll ask Juan about it. Just about doing it anyways.
I'm gonna pick up a microphone for my baby. And we need one of those big round selfie lights.
I think it's over the glow of her eyes.
Yeah.
All right, council, we're back in session.
All right, Mayor Council, here's our job description. See if the camera picks it up. Counting assistant, you've got the min 1644, the max 2440. Midpoint, we put it at 2042. 7.5% less than that would be 1889. And this is straight out of our, job description book where we have all that stuff. So, that's where we put the salary from.
It does not coincide with our most current pay plan. I've been trying to get you guys to update our salary plan so that we know, and you won't do it.
Council, can I request that you give me a budget adjustment to provide for that study moving forward?
I've provided budget adjustments for lots of things like P&Z, and then the money was given away.
Mr. Mayor, we've got a motion and a second. Are we discussing the hire, or are we discussing budget?
We do have a motion.
I'm asking what salary are we hiring her at? I'm just asking to be justified. I can't see that according to the documents that I have.
Understood, but he just told you what it would be there, the 1889 or whatever.
Okay, so that is below the starting salary for a financial specialist.
On
The job description I'm reading here is accounting assistant.
I know, which is not what Dora does.
We're not replacing Dora, we're hiring an accounting assistant.
I thought the whole point was to replace Dora
We are,
when she leaves.
with an accounting
Okay,
assistant.
Mayor, I'm just confused about a couple things. I know you and Juan can help me understand. First of all, does that leave Dora's position open? Why is she not going into that position, number one? And then number two, one, if we haven't had a study that you're requesting budget for, how do you have that piece of paper that shows a different number than what Councilor Abraham has?
Mayor
I'm
Council,
confused.
Mayor Council, if I may, so that piece of paper that I have is what we have. That's our job description book that has all of our positions in there. That's what I have. So Councilor Abraham is requesting. We had the Vince Yermo study done in 2015, and I am requesting. If that's the case, and you want to update the salary survey, then we need to update the salary survey. But I need funding provided to do that update.
All right, so we've got all that figured out. Let's go ahead and take the vote on this. We've got a motion on the floor to hire
That
her
doesn't
in a
make any
second.
sense.
And we have
Mayor.
a friendly amendment to have her start date be July 1st. We'll do a roll call vote. Start here with Councilor Abrams,
Aye.
Councilor Holly,
Aye.
Councilor Abraham,
Nay.
Councilor Jaramillo.
Nay.
We have a tie vote. In this instance, I'll choose to vote as mayor, and I vote aye to hire Amelia Alderetti to the position of accounting assistant for the town of Edgewood. Next item then is calendar review. Town offices are still open by appointment only, and we do have a issue we need to bring up, basically another hire. We have a fellow lined up that would be willing to take Norton Henninger's position. And we were not able to get him on tonight's agenda, so we'd like to have a special meeting on Monday, and I'd like to ask you what time is best to try to do this. I would suggest maybe early afternoon, 2 o'clock.
2.
2? How does 2 sound to the rest of you?
On which day, Mayor?
Monday, the 15th.
Monday.
I can make myself available at any time on Monday.
Okay.
I think that 2 o'clock would work for me.
Okay.
And this is, okay, this is hiring somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. to replace Norton Henninger.
Was this an internal posting?
No?
No.
Went out and we've had a number of interviews, and we've got a fellow that we think might be a pretty good fit for that position. Well, if 2 o'clock works, then we'll get busy and make out an agenda and stuff and get it out to the boxes as soon as we can. Beyond that, our next regular council meeting is slated for June 24th. Chiefs, what is that on the 24th? I see it's red. Is it some holiday, something? No,
It's out of Quebec.
Oh, Canada. No worry then. The next item then is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion on that.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Motion carries. Thank you, council. What is our time?